Fight fans worldwide, this is Upper Echelon Sports Bar, where we maintain boxing at its finest form. It's facts over feelings here. We not a boxer fan, but we are boxing fans. So that means it's non-biased, even though you think it may be no. We love all boxers because we love the sport of boxing, and we hope to progress it and get away from this false narrative that it's going in. So y'all sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride because Upper Echelon's in the building, and we gonna keep it ready.
For anybody that knows Adrein Jerome Broner, they know right here this is a clear cry for help. With the pride that he has, and for him to come back to Floyd and ask Floyd for help, you know he's at his lowest, and you know he needs the most right now. And one thing Broner has learned coming up is that he has a great heart and he'll give to anybody, and don't nobody talk about how much he gives to people and how much he looks out for people out there. All they focus on is his antics and what they can get out of him. Broner has done more for anybody in his city. He's also looked out for people. He's took Gervonta Tank Davis under his wing, even though he may come off as crazy sometimes. You got to realize boxing is a dangerous sport, and Floyd brought Broner into it, and he showed him the ropes, but he didn't really teach Broner. See, Broner is a young guy from the hood who wasn't used to money, and when you come from something like that, you need somebody to guide you, not show you. Floyd was showing him the party lifestyle and getting the money and everything right there, but he wasn't partaking in it himself, and that's what he had to stress to Broner. See, Broner was a young starry-eyed youth that got that money, and he didn't know what to do with it, so he blew it fast when he realized he had that cash. And he was very talented, very gifted, but he was put in a situation too early. He was a star before he was ready to shine, if you get what I'm saying. Like, he had all the pundits and all the requisites to be a star, but he wasn't ready mentally. And getting that type of work and that type of weight pressed upon your shoulders at an early age when you're not ready, it's going to make you collapse. Look at all the past stars in Hollywood and music who got started early. See, now that they're depressed, they're on drugs, they're dead, they commit suicide, all that stuff right there, because being a star is hard work. We, as the people, sit back and watch. We don't really understand what these people go through, but they are human as well. And it's crazy that we sit there and judge them, but before we can sit there and judge them, we need to think about what we do as well. The stuff that we do. If everything that we did was put under a microscope, if they combed all our skeletons, how will we react? How will we look? How will we shape up to the public? So before we start throwing rocks at Broner and we start judging him, we need to see what it's like to be him as well, and to be in this situation as well. Adrein is a 4-division champ who started off 27-0 with 22 knockouts until he went against Marcus Maidana. He was the WBO Super Featherweight champion from 2011 to 2012, the WBC Lightweight champion from 2012 to 2013. He jumped up to the WBA Welterweight champion in 2013, and then he went back to the Light Welterweight champion at 2015 through 16. He has 34 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. His first loss was against Marcus Maidana, and after that, it was from downhill from there because he was put into a war. That was the hardest fight of his career. He got hit with shots that he really didn't recover from. He became pump shy after that fight right there, and he wasn't the same after that. Now he refused to let his hands go in every fight he's in.
With some hoes. He standing straight up, watch I make him lean with this pole. Would've thought he was close, how that heat made him fold. Thought it was a game, he won't think no more.
His brain's gone, nigga.
It be exciting when I get to striking. Guns sound like thunder, hit you like lightning. Fight for your life, we don't do no fighting.
We really hit it, nigga.
We worse than savage, they calling us Vikings. Police be riding, we still be sliding. Told you we hitters, remember the time. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster.
on Ryan. Obviously, that's a fight people want to see, but he's going through something not boxing related right now. Any thoughts on Ryan Garcia and the struggles he's going through right now?
I can't really speak on his situation. 'Cause I know it's not. It's something I've never been through, but mental illness is global. So I'm just wishing him the best, and I'm gonna continue to do. Focus on my fight. We'll meet if it's meant. Then we'll meet if it's meant. And if it's not, then so be it. But best wishes to him and his father.
Fuck nigga, you a plug, then I'm pulling up, nigga. You my lunch, eating bullet for dinner.
Tank, you a damn snake, dog. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I used to have respect for you, and I used to get mad when people trashed your name, but then I realized you got a lot of female tendencies and you got a lot of snake appeal. You know that? Because you a jealous-hearted little dude, man. Yeah, you may got power and everything, but you would be nothing if AB didn't turn you on the floor. You got the same record Jerron Boots Ennis got, the same amount of knockouts as you, same percentage. The only reason you where you is now is because you was introduced to Floyd Money Mayweather and he got your career off the jump. And what's bad is Adrein Broner looked at you like a little brother. He took you everywhere and tried to show you what not to do so you wouldn't follow through what he went through. And that's the best advice a person can give to somebody. It's not to show them what to do, it's show them what not to do so you don't follow in my footsteps. I went through this right here so you don't have to because I love you that much. That's what he did for you. And then you sit there and backbite him and do all this right here, and then you talk about you not talking about him. You weren't talking about Ryan Garcia because he did it a year ago. And we see the interview what you said about him. Yeah, you happen to do that as soon as Adrein Broner comes out and says that he's going through mental illness. And that's one thing about you, Tank. You'll sit there and throw stuff out there, and then somebody will correct you and let you know that you did wrong, then you try to clean it up. The same way you did with Devin Haney when you said you wanted to fight him next. Now we ain't heard nothing from you, boy. But you a grown-ass man. I can't tell you how to feel or how to act. But if you going to say something, part of being a man is standing on what you say. If you say something, be a man to stand on it. Like if you sit there and gonna say that, don't come back and clean it up. If you call Devin and tell Devin you want to fight after he fight, then stand on that, man. That's all I'm saying. You want to be the big star, you want to be the big moments here. You got the limelight. You know, it's like you don't want to be in AB's shadow, now you out his shadow. I mean, do you? But look, you're going to have to stand on it. Because if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. And you've been doing a lot of daggone shady shit, though, bro. Like, you'll say one thing and not mean the other. Like, you wasn't signing back to TMT. Hey, you still signed to them. We can't get no big fights. And you ain't said nothing about nothing. We sit there going to bat defending you and we looking stupid now. Because we believe in what you say. And you ain't came back. Then we got Conor Benn here. You trying to call out Adrein Broner because you trying to make a name for yourself. Because your name ain't relevance. And see, you look down the list and you say, okay, let me find me a name that I can fight so I can get me some kind of stardom. So now you want to pick Adrein Broner because you see that he's going through stuff mentally. And you know that'll be an easier win for you. Or that's how you feel. Then you couldn't get the Adrein Broner fight, so you're going to go fight a super middleweight in Chris Eubanks Jr. So really, you taking a fight that you can have an excuse for in case you lose, right? Why don't you do this? You a welterweight, you young and hungry, you calling out a 4th division champion Adrein Broner. Why don't you call out Jerron Boots Ennis? Yeah, he's ready. He want that smoke. He got that smoke for you. Or Virgil Ortiz. Why you trying to call out people from the past? Why you trying to call out older fighters that's not in your generation? If you really looking for a big name, you looking for a big fight, then Boots right there, he got all the smoke for you, Conor Benn. Or is you scared? That's that UK crap. You acting like you calling for a big fight, but you don't really want war. You don't really want to go there where. You ain't trying to let your hands go. Because I guarantee you get in the ring with that boy Jerron Boots Ennis, he'll go ahead and send you on your way. Send you back to the O2 Stadium over there with a big L in your hand. But you know that already. Eddie Hearns know that already. That's why you trying to go through and pick the older fighters that's past generations, who's past their primes like Adrein Broner. Or then you keep trying to get people like Thurman. Okay, I'm saying you got Virgil Ortiz, you got Jerron Boots Ennis. Say their name. Call out Jerron Ennis the same way you called out Broner. Let me see you keep the same energy you had with Boots the way you had with Jerron Ennis, because that's a better fight for you. Yeah, you see Adrian's a 4 division champion, but he's past his prime. Jerron Boots Ennis sitting right there with 29 wins, 27 knockouts. Go get you some of that. And stop pump faking like you really want smoke when you really don't. It's funny how fighters be bullies on the low. How they try to pick on people that they feel weaker than them or not as strong as them right there, but won't face the ready and able that's right there in their daggone face. Like, you know, they picking and choosing. They don't really want to smoke with everybody. And see, now that Adrian Broner done got older, everybody trying to put Adrian Broner on the resume because they know AB is a good name. AB used to be the can man because the can man was the can man, and he would whoop any can back then. 27-0, 22 knockouts. But what they fail to realize is Adrian Broner is a former lightweight. Why don't you go get somebody that's your own weight, your own size, your own youth? Let's see how you do then. Let's see how you fare when the match is more equal. Or do you feel like you're not as skilled as these other young hungry lions that's out here? So what, you a cub? Are you a tiger? Ain't that what you say? Look in the mirror, aren't you a tiger? Don't you want to be the best of the best? Don't you want to have a fight that's meaningful? Instead of going up fighting Chris Eubanks where you have him dehydrated as well and weight drained. Plus, you jumping up with a fight in case you lose, they can say, oh, well, he dared to be great, like they did Canelo, right? Come on now, stop the cap, man. We see this shit. And one thing for sure, two things for certain. Omar Figueroa. Why don't we tell the people why you really mad? It's because you have messed up your career. You done sat there and went from an undefeated prospect super champion to the hero of your town to a person that got knocked out and beat badly by Ugas, then Abel Ramos. Your career went from sugar to shit. Excuse my French. Yes. And you got 3 DWIs and 2 states. You was on probation in 2 states. And if I do remember, you pulled out the Adrian Broner fight not once, but twice, right? So you did the same shit to him, but then you gonna say this to him? You talking about his mental health histories, like he don't have the same mental health problems that you had. And then you saying F you Broner, but you telling Danny Garcia, congratulations. But if we do remember, you pulled out on Adrian Broner 2 times for the fight, and you cited mental health. Did he say anything bad about you? No. What it is though, you seen a way to step up your career. You thought you could resurrect that faded ass career that you had and be somebody and try to get a name off Adrian Broner. And that's the problem with all these fighters out here, because y'all all see Adrian Broner as a free lunch, as a free pass. Y'all see him as the weak link, and y'all feel like y'all can get him because he has a name. And so y'all try to use his name to step up into stardom instead of going out there and earning it for yourself. You had a star fight and you lost to Ugas. So what do you say about that? Ryan Garcia, I'm going to tell you one thing. I used to think you was the king of cap, but I have mad respect for you now, Ryan Garcia. Out of everybody out there, you got Adrian Broner's back. And I appreciate that, man, because you too know what mental health is. See, what people don't realize is fighters take shots to the head over and over and over. If a football player gets a concussion, they sit out for a week, not a fighter. Boxing is the most dangerous sport. It's the only sport you don't play that in MMA. If a football player get a concussion, they got to sit out a week or 2 with concussion protocol. A boxer, he can get a concussion while he's sparring. When he's in the ring, he's definitely taking concussions, body shots, rib shots, broken bones, broken organs, punctured ribs, all that right there. And every time they're taking these blows to the head, these blows are adding up with the constant blunt force trauma that they are taking. The blunt force trauma that they are taking. It's hard to see why boxers get into the ring. But these are special people. They're animals. They're warriors. And we should congratulate them and celebrate the fact that they do get in the ring. If you never get in the ring, who are you to get out there and criticize somebody that does? Because this is very dangerous. And look at the past fighters of the years. Look at James Toney. Look at Bernard Hopkins. Look at Ali. Their motor skills are gone. Their speech is gone. That's why Andre Ward Floyd got out when they did, because it's very dangerous and it's taxing to the body. And it's hard for you to leave out of boxing intact by taking these blows to the head constantly. So I salute AB and I hope he gets better soon. and he finds his happy place to come back and give us one more champ. And if not, hey, you gave it a good run.